What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be looking at Microstrategy today. We're going to be going over price action and looking at a couple of different metrics. Today, we opened up, I believe it was 12 to 15%, pretty high up there at 295. Not going to lie, definitely thought with the momentum we had on Bitcoin, this momentum, I thought it was going to continue to push up. But as you know, the markets are unpredictable and anything can happen. And I mean, within the hour, it just started tanking and it filled this gap that we had here to the left, which was a pretty large gap. And we ended up closing back at the 250 level. And now, as you can see, Bitcoin's actually continuing further down. So the next target that I would see if we crack this level and surpass this wick would be back to that $75,000 level. I still remain bullish long term. I do still think it's some kind of washout. Back to MicroStrategy. So towards the upside, if we can push above 290 and get above this trend line here, the next level we have to get through is 350 to 360. The following would be about 400, 450, and then we're at all-time highs. And then on the other side, pushing down, I say we get a bounce or we kind of slow down here at 230, 235. If we crack and hold below this level, maybe we get a retest of this on the downside and we push to the next target, which I could see being around here, 200. And that would be a break of the major channel, trend line and channel, that dates all the way back to October 2023. So that definitely wouldn't be a good sign. Let's hope we hold. But I mean, I still remain bullish on Bitcoin. So as you can see, this thing went up 15% in no time, literally a snap of a finger, before there was any trading volume or anything even happened in the day. So, and now I'm pulling up the SMAs, and it looks like MicroStrategy is coming back to the 200-day SMA. So usually when we get there, we get bounces, as you can see in the previous times. So that's definitely a lot of support in confluence with the long-term trend and channel and this minor support level. So there's definitely a lot underneath here, and price is somewhat suppressed and compressed because trading volume's down, but it's not breaking too far down, but it won't break out. So it's just compressed into this zone. So we could definitely see some kind of chop before we do anything. And maybe we push up, or maybe we chop and then go back down. So we'll see how it plays out. But the 200 SMA is always a strong sign. On any chart you look at, that is always a very strong level of support or resistance, depending on where price is relative to the SMA. And on the Bollinger Bands, on the daily, we were playing outside of the bottom band for a little bit, and then we pushed back in, and now we're kind of in it still, but we're definitely getting close to that line again. But like I said in a previous video, usually when we're at this bottom band, the next move is usually up, and worst case sideways. But we normally don't fall outside of it for too long. You see, we fall outside of it here and it snaps right back. So it usually doesn't spend a lot of time outside of the bands on both sides, upside or downside. Even when it's rallying up, it's barely outside of the top band, as you can see here. So hopefully we can get another move like this in some time starting soon. That would be nice. I'm going to take a look at the volume that it's been having and see what that looks like. So there has been a little bit of an increase in the volume. Not too much, but it was at a much higher level here. And it's kind of just been tapering off and dying out. we kind of got a little bit of volume is going a little bit higher, but this last red candle was pretty large towards the downside, and that's why you see this engulfing candle here. Now back to Bitcoin. We were playing underneath this trend line, this long-term trend line, back to August 2024. And it seems like this might have been a touch, and we pushed back down. So we'll see what the next move is. When you look at the price action on the weekly, it does look a little, it looks funny in a sense of, typically price doesn't do things like this where you have a massive wick and you start looking at this candle forming and you start to wonder, okay, is this really just going to be an engulfing candle all the way down? Most of the time that's not going to be the case. This is not financial advice. This is not telling you what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen. But with major wicks like this, I definitely can see this becoming a wick on the weekly chart. Maybe it's going to be on Friday when we get the unemployment data. If it comes out good, we'll see how that goes, or maybe rallying into the unemployment data. So we'll see how that plays out. But I can definitely see this being a massive wick, and then the body of the candle starting here. And maybe we close the same way as this, but it'll be the same thing as this, but just green. And the wick, maybe this is the bottom, who knows? So I can definitely see that happening, but we definitely have to break above this trend line here. We need to break that so we can start chopping and breaking this level, retesting here, breaking this, retesting here, and continue to make our way all the way up, doing the same thing. So we'll see how that plays out. Like I said, I remain bullish on Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. In the medium term, I wouldn't say long term because of the cycles that Bitcoin goes through. 3 years up, 1 year down. And the last year of that 3 years going up would be 2025. So I definitely am bullish at the moment. But like I said, medium term. And if Bitcoin goes up, then of course MicroStrategy should follow because they hold nearly 500,000 Bitcoin as a company. So they are a Bitcoin treasury company, and that's what they're going to continue to do. So as long as you remain bullish on Bitcoin, you should remain bullish on MicroStrategy. Now, would I hold it in that one down year? Probably not. Would I DCA into the bottom or near the bottom during that down year? Absolutely. And try and ride it for the next 3 years, you know. Maybe if it's mid to late 2026, that MicroStrategy and Bitcoin, maybe that could be the time. But definitely if you want to start a new position later on, you definitely want to do it in the downtime, of course, not at all-time highs. Because if you're buying at all-time highs, you have to make sure that you're ready to sell in the near to medium term. But that's all I have for you guys today. You let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.